My beloved child, today is no ordinary moment. This message you are receiving is not a coincidence. It is the voice of God, speaking directly to your heart. You are here not by chance, but by divine purpose. God has heard your cries, seen your struggles, and knows the weight that has burdened your spirit. This is a sacred moment designed for you to listen to the words that may change your life's course. For so long, you have searched for answers, praying for a breakthrough, aching for a sign that your cries have not been brushed aside. It may feel, at times, as though your prayers are met with silence, that your hope is withering in the waiting. But hear this truth, child of God. You have not been forgotten. Every whisper, every tear, every plea has been heard by the one who holds your life in his hands. And today, he offers you a promise. Help is coming. But before that help arrives, there is something God needs you to understand. Something profound that reaches into the depths of his love for you. The help he sends may not come in the way you imagine, wrapped in the extraordinary or the miraculous. Sometimes, the answer you long for is already standing beside you, clothed in the ordinary. God often works through people, through the quiet acts of love, support, and guidance those around you offer. You must open your heart and eyes to recognize this divine intervention, even in a humble form. Stay with me, for this message is for your moment of need and the journey ahead. It is a message of transformation, of preparation for something far greater than the struggle you face today. Dear child of God, I know the burdens you carry, the silent struggles you endure. I see the doubt that has crept into your heart, the confusion when the answers you've prayed for seem distant. The nights of restless waiting and the days filled with questions have weighed heavily upon your spirit. But let me assure you, beloved, nothing you have experienced has escaped the eyes of your heavenly Father. Your tears are not unnoticed, and your prayers are not forgotten. Every whisper of your heart has reached the ears of God, and though it may feel as though you are walking through a valley of uncertainty, know this: God is with you, closer than your very breath. He understands the ache of your soul, the moments when you've wondered if anyone truly sees your suffering, if anyone truly cares. But even in your loneliness, even in the silence, God has been watching over you with a love more profound than you can comprehend. This is not the end of your story, nor is your pain in vain. You have been heard, child, by the one who loves you more than you can imagine. He has seen every tear fall, every anxious thought pass through your mind, and he holds it all in his hands. Today, he speaks a word of comfort into your life. Help is coming. You are not forsaken. You are not alone. Your struggles are real, and it is natural to wonder if relief will ever come. But God's timing is perfect, even when it seems slow. Hold fast to this truth in your waiting and in your doubts. God has not turned his face from you. He is preparing something far more significant than you can understand, and his help will arrive at just the right moment. Trust in him, even when the path seems unclear, for he is faithful and loves you forever. Beloved child, hear this promise whispered into the very core of your being. Help is on the way. Yet, I ask you to be attentive, for the help that God sends may not come in the form you have envisioned. In his infinite wisdom, God often chooses to work through the people around you, those whose paths you cross, whose words and actions may seem ordinary but are filled with divine purpose. The answer to your prayers may not arrive with great fanfare or signs from the heavens, but rather in the quiet, unassuming ways only a heart open to God's will can recognize. How often do we look for miracles, expecting God's intervention to be grand and unmistakable? And yet, beloved, the help you seek may already be standing right beside you. In the comforting words of a friend, in the steady presence of a family member, or even in the kind gesture of a stranger. The very things we sometimes overlook, dismiss, or deem insufficient may be the vessels through which God delivers his grace. God sends the right people at the right time in his loving care for you. But it is up to you to open your heart, to look beyond your expectations, and to recognize his hand at work in the everyday moments of life. The answer may not come wrapped in the brilliance of a miracle, but in the humility of human connection. Do not let pride or fear close your eyes to the help he is providing. God is moving through those around you, weaving their lives with yours in mysterious and profound ways. Trust in this. God is faithful in his promise to you. Though the form may be different than what you had imagined, the substance of his help will be precisely what you need. Allow yourself to receive it, for it is through this help that God begins the work of healing, restoration, and renewal in your life. Dear child, there is a sacred truth that God longs for you to grasp. His help is already at work in your life, but you must be willing to receive it. The Lord's ways are not always what we expect, and his help is often wrapped in forms that challenge our understanding. How usually have you pushed away the hands extended to lift you, thinking you must carry your burdens alone? How typically have you dismissed the quiet voices of love and support around you, believing that accurate help must look different, more miraculous, more blatant? Yet, God's design for your healing does not always arrive with the grandeur you might anticipate. Often, he works through the hearts of those nearby, sending help through human compassion, friendship, and wisdom. But to receive this help, you must be open. You must lay down the armor of pride, the shield of self-reliance, and the fear that whispers, "I should be able to do this on my own." God did not create you to bear these burdens in isolation. He designed you for the community, for connection with others who can offer the strength, wisdom, and love you need. His help is not an abstract force, but one that moves through the people in your life, those sent to ease your suffering and to walk beside you. But this help requires something of you, the humility to receive it. Reflect for a moment. How often have you turned away from the very support God placed in your path? Perhaps you thought, "I don't need them," or "I can handle this alone." But beloved, hear this clearly. God's will for you is not to struggle in solitude. He is sending help, but you must allow yourself to be helped. If you close yourself off and push others away, you close the door to the blessings God is offering. This is not a sign of weakness. It is part of his divine plan for your healing and restoration. The hands that reach out to you and the voices that offer comfort are the very instruments through which God extends his grace. Do not let fear or pride prevent you from receiving the gifts he has prepared. Beloved child, God's help is not always the gentle hand that soothes or the comforting word that calms your soul. Sometimes his help comes wrapped in the challenge, asking you to step beyond the boundaries of your comfort and embrace growth that you may not yet understand. This, too, is part of his divine love for you. God does not simply desire your relief. He desires your transformation, your growth into the person he has called you to be. The one he sends to help may lift your burdens and stir your heart, pushing you to confront the things you have kept hidden or the areas of your life that need change. This is not to harm you, child, but to strengthen you. At times, the people God uses in your life will speak hard truths that may not be easy to hear, but are necessary for your growth. Do not turn away from these moments, for they are filled with God's refining grace, shaping you into someone wiser, stronger, and more aligned with his purpose for your life. Sometimes, the help God provides will stretch you, challenging your assumptions, fears, and even your faith. It may be uncomfortable, but remember that God is not only concerned with your immediate comfort. He is involved with your destiny, with the fulfillment of the great calling he has placed upon your life. The discomfort you feel is not punishment but preparation for a future far more significant than what you can see today. Trust in this process, beloved. The person God sends may ask you to grow, step into unfamiliar territory, and face challenges that seem beyond your ability. But know this, God is with you every step of this journey. He is not abandoning you to these challenges. He is using them to mold you into the person you are meant to become. Each difficulty is a lesson, each obstacle an opportunity for your soul to deepen in faith, resilience, and wisdom. Do not resist the refining hand of God, even when it feels hard. Embrace the growth he is calling you to, for it is through these challenges that you will be made into someone who not only overcomes but also thrives, more robust, braver, and more ready to step into the fullness of his plan for your life. My beloved child, God's help is not merely to lift the weight of today's burdens. It is woven into a far greater design than you can presently see. The struggles you endure, the prayers you've whispered, and the help on its way are all part of a divine plan that extends beyond the immediate moment. God's help is to relieve your present pain and prepare you for the journey ahead, one that will lead you into more profound wisdom, greater strength, and a clearer understanding of your purpose. God's love for you is not limited to solving the challenges of today. He sees the entirety of your path, the future you cannot yet imagine. The help He sends is part of His grander vision for your life, a vision involving your healing, restoration, and preparation for what is to come. You are being equipped for something far greater than the struggle you now face. This present trial is but a chapter in the larger story He is writing through you, a story filled with His grace and goodness. Understand this, dear one. God is not just rescuing you from difficulty, but transforming you for a greater purpose. The person He sends to help you may comfort you, teach you, challenge you, and prepare you for the next phase of your life. Through the trials you face and the help you receive, you are being molded into someone who will someday become a beacon of hope for others. God is shaping you into a vessel through which His love, wisdom, and strength will flow to bless those around you. You may not realize it now, but your current struggles are not just about your growth, but about the lives you will touch through your testimony. As God sends someone to help you, He is also preparing you to one day be that help for someone else. This is how His love works, flowing from one heart to another, from one life to the next. Your journey, though difficult, is being used for something far more significant than you can comprehend at this moment. So trust in the process, child of God. Know that the help you receive is part of His grander plan to build you into someone who will overcome and carry the light of His love to others. The help that comes today will prepare you to be a blessing tomorrow, for you are part of God's vast and wondrous design, where every struggle has a purpose and every blessing flows into the lives of others. Beloved child, the waiting has been extended, and the silence can feel unbearable. But trust this, God is at work even in the stillness. The help you seek may have yet to arrive, but do not mistake the delay for absence. God is constantly moving, even when you cannot see it. In this season of waiting, there is a divine purpose. It is not a time of abandonment, but a sacred space for growth, preparation, and deepening your faith. Waiting can feel like an eternity when your heart yearns for answers and the weight of uncertainty presses down upon you. But remember, child, God's timing is perfect. He sees the whole picture, past, present, and future, and knows exactly when the help you need should arrive. Sometimes, the waiting isn't about the delay of His answer. It's about the preparation of your heart. Perhaps He is shaping you, readying you to receive what is coming, or maybe He is preparing the person He will send to help you. Either way, the waiting is never wasted. During this time, God is calling you to trust Him more deeply, to let go of the desire for control, and to rest in His unfailing promise. This is a season for building strength, not through self-reliance, but dependence on His grace. As you wait, He is refining your faith, drawing you closer to His heart, and teaching you to listen more intently for His voice. Know this, child of God, the waiting is a gift. It may not feel like it, but it is at this time that God is preparing something far more significant than a quick answer to your prayers. He is crafting a solution that will lift today's burden and build a foundation for your future. The help that is coming is not simply about this moment. It is about equipping you for the journey ahead. Do not despair in the waiting. Each day of uncertainty draws you closer to fulfilling God's promise. Though it may seem that nothing is happening on the surface, know that beneath it all, God is aligning every detail for the perfect moment. The waiting is not a sign of neglect, but a mark of His careful, intentional preparation. So be patient, dear one. Strengthen your heart in His presence, for God is closer than you know, working in ways beyond your understanding. In the silence, He is speaking. In the stillness, He is moving. And when the time is right, the help He sends will meet your needs and exceed your expectations. Trust in His process, for in the waiting, He is making you ready to receive His abundant blessing. Beloved child, God's ways are higher than ours, and His thoughts are far beyond our understanding. It may feel challenging to trust in a process you cannot fully see amid your struggles, but rest assured, God is at work, even in the unseen. His hand guides your path, orchestrating every step with divine wisdom and love. Though the road may seem uncertain and the answers elusive, now is the time to fix your eyes on Him and trust His perfect plan. There are moments when all you can see are the challenges in front of you, and it feels like everything is standing still. But do not mistake this stillness for inaction. Behind the scenes, God is moving pieces into place, aligning circumstances, people, and opportunities in ways that will only become clear when the time is right. He is neither absent nor slow to fulfill his promise. He works with an intricate design, preparing everything for your good. In this waiting time, God asks you to shift your focus from the problem to his presence. Trust him, not just in the outcome but in the process itself. Something sacred is happening in the waiting room. In the quiet moments, it's here that your faith is being deepened, your heart is being refined, and your spirit is learning to rely more fully on him. He is shaping you into the person you need to become for the future he has planned. Let go of the desire to see immediate results and instead lean into the trust that God's timing is perfect. He knows what you need and when you need it. If he delays, it is because he is preparing something far more significant than you can comprehend now. Trust that every piece of your life is in his hands and that he works all things together for your good. Understand this, beloved. God's process is as necessary as his promise. It's not just about reaching the destination. It's about who you are becoming along the way. Every trial, unanswered question, and moment of waiting is part of his divine plan to strengthen you, teach you, and mold you into someone who can not only receive his blessings, but also carry them forward into the lives of others. So, take heart and trust in the journey. Even when you can't see the whole picture, God is crafting something beautiful, a masterpiece of grace, hope, and redemption. Your faith is not misplaced. He is faithful to complete the good work he has begun in you. Allow his process to unfold in his time, and you will find that what he has prepared for you is far greater than anything you could have imagined. Hold on to this truth. God never fails. His ways are sure, his timing is perfect, and his love for you is unfailing. He is with you now, working in the details of your life, and when the time comes, you will see the fullness of what he has been preparing. Trust in his process leads you towards something more significant than you can understand. Beloved, profound wisdom comes from looking back on life's trials and seeing, with clarity, how God's hand was guiding you all along. In the moments of pain, confusion, and waiting, it can feel as though God is distant, as though your prayers have gone unanswered. But when you look back, you begin to see how each step, each challenge, was part of a larger plan. How even the most difficult moments set the stage for something greater than you could have imagined. I, too, have walked through valleys where hope seemed lost, where the weight of waiting felt unbearable. I questioned, I doubted, and at times, I wondered if God had forgotten me. But now, looking back, I see the intricate beauty of his timing. What I thought were delays were, in truth, acts of divine preparation. The help I sought did not always come in the way I expected, but when it arrived, it was exactly what I needed, not just for the moment, but for my future. And so I say to you, dear one, trust that God is working in your life in ways that may be hidden from you now. The trials you face today are not without purpose. They are shaping you, molding you into someone stronger, wiser, and more attuned to the will of God. Your story is not one of defeat but victory, a victory unfolding even amid struggle. Looking back on this season, you will see how God was weaving every thread of your life into a tapestry of grace. You will understand that the waiting was not a punishment but a preparation time. What feels like silence now will one day be revealed as the softest whisper of God's love, guiding you toward the help he has prepared. Take comfort in knowing that your current challenges are not the end of your story. They are part of a testimony that will bring you healing and inspire and encourage others. The pain you endure now will one day serve as a beacon of hope for someone walking through their valley. God is preparing you to survive and be a source of strength and light for others. So hold on, dear one. Trust that God's faithfulness is at work, even when you cannot see it. One day, you will look back and see that every moment of waiting, every tear, every prayer was part of his grander plan to bring you into a place of abundance, healing, and purpose. Your story is not finished. It is just beginning. Beloved child, God's help is not only for your immediate relief. It is part of a grander purpose, a divine calling that reaches far beyond this moment. The struggles you face today, as painful as they may be, are not without meaning. God, in his infinite wisdom, is using these trials to shape you into someone capable of more than just surviving. He is preparing you to become a vessel of His love, a bearer of His grace, and a light for others walking through their darkness. God sees your heart, knows your every burden, and has not forgotten your cries for help. But His plan for you is more significant than simply easing your pain. The help He sends is designed to heal and strengthen, teach, and prepare you for a greater purpose. You are being molded into someone who will not only receive blessings, but will also become a blessing to others. This is how God's love works. It flows from one heart to another, from one soul to the next, creating a chain of grace that spans lives and generations. The trials you face today are part of the preparation for something greater beyond your own life. One day, you will be the one God sends to help another. Your experiences, your pain, and your victories will serve as a testimony to those who are struggling. You will offer the same comfort, wisdom, and strength that you once sought, and in doing so, you will fulfill the more significant purpose God has designed for you. Child of God, you are part of something far more significant than you can see. The help you receive today prepares you to be a source of hope for others tomorrow. Each step of your journey, each challenge you overcome, is shaping you into someone who will carry God's love into the lives of others. You are being prepared for your own healing and the healing of those around you. Trust that your pain is not wasted and your struggles are not in vain. They are part of a divine plan that will one day unfold in ways you cannot imagine. Looking back, you will see that God was working to bring you through your trials and preparing you to answer someone else's prayers. So, dear one, embrace this process, knowing it is part of God's larger vision for your life. You are being transformed not just for your own sake, but for the sake of others who need the wisdom and strength you are now cultivating. God's purpose for you extends far beyond your current pain. He is raising you to be a blessing, a reflection of His grace in a world that desperately needs it. You are part of His grand design, a vital link in the chain of love that connects His children and to Him. Beloved child, God has promised help is on its way, but He asks something of you. Keep your heart open and be ready to receive it. The answers to your prayers may not arrive as expected, but trust that they will come exactly the way you need them. God's wisdom is perfect, and He knows how best to care for your soul, even when His ways seem hidden or difficult to understand. In this sacred waiting, there is a divine invitation. God is calling you to remain humble, to cast aside your fears, and to trust His timing. How many times have we, in our impatience, missed the blessings He's placed right in front of us? How often do we expect grand miracles while overlooking the small, quiet ways He works in our lives? The help He sends may come through unexpected people, through the subtle grace of a conversation, a gesture of kindness, or even a challenge that pushes you to grow. Stay open, dear one. Do not let pride or doubt harden your heart. The help that comes may not look like the solution you envisioned, but it will be precisely what God, in His infinite love, has prepared for you. Sometimes, the greatest blessings come wrapped in the most humble packages. Be willing to see God's hand in the ordinary and to recognize His voice in the stillness. And know this, child of God, the help that comes is not only for today's needs. It is preparing you for the journey ahead. God is equipping you, through this help, to face future challenges with strength and wisdom. He is providing for the present and building a foundation for your future. As you receive His help, know He is shaping you for something greater that will carry you through this season and beyond. But there is more, beloved. God also calls you to become a vessel of His help to others. Just as He is sending someone to support you, He will one day send you to be that help for another. Your struggles, your victories, your growth, all of these are part of a greater purpose. You are being prepared not only to receive but to give, to be the hands and feet of Christ in the lives of those who need hope, just as you do now. So, as you wait and prepare your heart to receive God's help, know that you are part of something larger than yourself. God uses your story, pain, and healing to reach others, touch lives, and extend His grace. You are not just a receiver of His blessings. You are a part of His plan to bring blessings to the world. Stay humble, stay open, and be ready, for God's help is coming. And when it arrives, embrace it fully, trusting that it is not only for your relief, but for your transformation. You are being equipped for something greater, something beautiful that will bless you and those around you. Trust in His process and be ready to step into the fullness of the life He has planned for you. Beloved child of God, as you stand at the edge of this message, remember, you are not alone. Even when you feel unseen or forgotten, the Lord's eyes are always upon you. His love surrounds you, closer than the very air you breathe. He has heard your cries, knows the depths of your heart, and is working even now in ways beyond your understanding. The help you've longed for and the answers you've sought are coming. God's promises are sure, and His timing is perfect. But as you wait for His help to manifest, do not let discouragement take root in your heart. Instead, let this time be a season of faith when your trust in God grows deeper and your soul becomes attuned to His voice. The waiting is not wasted. It is a sacred space where God is refining you, preparing you for what is to come. Your strength is being renewed, your faith made more substantial, and your heart open to the fullness of His blessings. When the help arrives, it may not come in the form you imagined, but trust that it will be precisely what you need. Keep your heart open, your spirit humble, and your eyes fixed on the one who loves you more than you could ever comprehend. His plans for you are more significant than anything you can envision. He is not only rescuing you from your struggles, He is elevating you to a place where you can bless others through the wisdom, strength, and compassion born out of your journey. Take this message with you. Carry it close to your heart. Let it remind you that God is always at work, even in the unseen and the waiting. His help is coming. When it arrives, it will be the beginning of something beautiful, something far more significant than you could have hoped for. And remember, dear one, you are not merely the recipient of His grace. You are part of a divine plan that will touch the lives of others. As God sends someone to help you, so will He send you to be a light for others. So stand firm in your faith, trust in His process, stay open to His ways, and know, beyond any doubt, that you are deeply loved, never forgotten, and that help is coming. The Lord is with you, guiding you every step, and He will not fail you. Go in peace, and let His love lead you into the fullness of His promises. You are His, and He is always, always faithful. Stay strong, stay loyal, and remember, you are never alone.